Good day. Anti-Black racism is woven into the fabric of every social, economic, and political system within Canada. In our country's context, Black Canadian experiences are rooted in the history of enslavement, segregation, racist immigration policies, discriminatory housing and employment policies and practices, as well as the policing and over-surveillance across various state-sanctioned institutions. In order to fully understand the involvement of Black children, youth, and families in Ontario's child welfare system, it is important to understand the historical and continuous impact of anti-Black racism and how it leads to bias when carrying out kinship search, assessment, and placing decisions. Issues of disproportionality and disparity for Black families within institutional settings can be understood as symptoms of this history. The community culture can improve resiliency for African Canadian people whose outcomes can be shaped by anti-Black racism and adverse childhood experiences. The community is a positive social support that promotes healthy coping strategies, endorses cultural connections, and creates a protective factor against the harmful impacts of anti-Black racism. Community members can share common beliefs and values, especially in the context of values about family, raising children, and building generational success. Family plays a significant role in the empowerment of Black children and youth to withstand the harsh experiences of anti-Black racism. And kinship care is an integral part of that. During the transatlantic slave trade, the harsh conditions of chattel slavery destroyed countless Black families. In more recent times, we know that immigration experiences of people of African descent from across the Caribbean, traveling to England, the United States, and Canada in hopes for creating a better future for their children, often left their children in the care of aunties, grandparents, and other relatives who could care for their child. This practice is consistent across the African diaspora. Kinship care is another alternative for caring for Black children and youth. Many times, African Canadian kin family represents the extended family unit as a whole, and based on anti-Black racism, extended Black family members have often been ignored and overlooked by the child welfare system as viable options for kin placement. Within Black families, the extended family unit provides a flexible and adaptable approach to caregiving, a supportive network that protects children from disruptions such as employment insecurities, relationship changes, and housing insecurities. With kin placements, there are numerous benefits for children and youth that can help increase positive outcomes. For example, ongoing adaptability and flexibility that meets the needs of the family, protective factors for families who struggle with economic and social adversity, and the daily impacts of anti-Black racism, also providing children with attachment and stability. Child welfare agencies are urged to ensure they explore African Canadian families for kinship care placements before apprehending a child and placing the child in foster care, and before legal action is initiated between the society and the parents. Through the One Vision, One Voice Promising Practices and Implementation Toolkit, the OVOV program has provided guidelines that speak into the importance of allocating appropriate and dedicated resources, engaging African Canadian parents and communities, and establishing collaborations and partnerships, and of course, strengthening the ability of caregivers to support African Canadian children and youth. From all of us here at the OVOV program, we thank you for your continued dedication to addressing the disparate outcomes for Black children, youth, and families through the engagement of kinship networks.